David, you are a complete moron. I'm not giving Infinity War shit because they didn't implement troll protection. I'm giving Infinity War shit because they have a lobby system that is automatic. You can't prevent being in a lobby. You can't even just go into a match without being in a lobby. And if you set it to close their private, people can still join. So they're mandatorily forcing you to be in a lobby system, but then there's a glitch in the lobby system where you can't be by yourself. That's not troll protection. That's called competency. Like core competencies of being a game designer is to be able to have functional parts of your game. They've mandatorily implemented a lobby system for this version of the game. Never before was it like this. This time they implemented it and it doesn't work, and it's been over a week and no one's fixed it. That has nothing to do with anti-trolling. That's called core competencies as a game designer. They failed the checklist of core things you need to do to be a proper game designer. They shouldn't have jobs. Anyone who worked on the matchmaking and lobby system should not have a job. It's that bad.
Chopping it with Mittens, joking about his name is so fly. Mittens, cause he whipping, don't you get it, but that stove's hot, hot. Now let this be a lesson, professing. He handling the hit in his possession. Ooh, what you cooking, what you cooking? Scalding hot beats was blow up before it's cooking. Ooh, I know you're looking true. I'm out taking with this beat, I'm a lady man. I'm really trying to date it out. What's the number trying to call out? What about my team? Wood, shawty don't get logged out. Made by Bethesda, the only way we fall out. Morocco, you a mole.
Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. This is DSP News, the unreliable ones. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the newsroom and welcome to the Galtopia News Network, your unreliable source for DSP News. This is the Snort Report. Let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, as you guys know, I'm pretty behind. I'm currently recording this on the 18th of November. Oh, wow. Turkey Day is like literally right around the corner. And as you guys know, I was focused on some Mrhuth Stuff videos for a while there. I was trying to experiment with some things, which most of it actually worked out, as well as which is going to be incorporated into the new format. As well, I was looking for some stuff for the 12 days of Goutmas, and then whatever I decide to call it on the Fight Club channel for that 12 days event. So it kind of worked out, but I've missed kind of getting back in here with you guys and actually giving you guys the news. The news is going to be a little bit scrambled over the next couple days. Well, maybe for the next week or so, because I'm going to have to try to work backwards because there's been so much nonsense that happened in November. And then in and then in October, you know how I do. That'll get trickled out, so on and so forth. There might be some news days that'll come up that'll be 2 episodes instead of 1. You guys know I usually do that for shorter episodes, so look out for that when that happens. Thanks for everybody who supported the Wings report. So that's a thing. I'm hoping to do that once a week until I can build a rhythm and whatnot, because I think we need a reprieve a little bit from DSP's nonsense every once in a while, and so on and so forth. So let's get into some random news before we get into the news. So let's give some shout outs, shall we? Big ups to a longtime friend of mine and of yours, James the Lesser, who hit 10,000 subscribers. Sorry, he hit 2,000 subscribers. He said that if he hits 10,000, he'd get a tattoo. So I jumped to conclusions a little bit on that one. I'm not sure if he's going to vlog it, but it would be dope if he did. But anyway, shouts out to James the Lesser for hitting 2,000 subs. I'm extremely happy for him and whatnot, and he deserves it. I look forward to all the milestones that he will eventually meet and overcome as time goes on. So shouts out to him. Speaking of which, he actually has a video where he's doing a giveaway for his 2,000 sub celebration, if you will. If I remember to, I'll link it down in the description. If not, I'll make it one of the end cards if I don't remember that. Or I'll try to make it a card over this video at some point. We're at the 3-minute mark. So something along those lines. Somewhere in this mix, I will have a link to his video. If not, just check out James the Lesser's channel. He does have it on there, obviously, because that's where I saw it. And go ahead and say congratulations to him. If you're not subbed to James yet, please do. He has a bunch of excellent content on his channel as well, and he's a pretty funny guy. And help him on his way to 10,000 so we can get this tattoo vlog. I'm looking forward to seeing that. He didn't say that he would vlog the tattooing, but it would be pretty dope if he did. So check James the Lesser out on that one. I'm super late on this one, as always. But shouts out to Snort Burnell, who hit 11,000 subs. So congratulations to Snort Burnell. I think I've already commented on a Snort Burnell video, at least the most recent one. Not the one that I'm getting ready to do now, because this is super recent. But I think the video before this, I had commented on that. So if you guys didn't know that, please go over to Snort Burnell, say congratulations for 11,000 subs, and another year of getting at this piggy and his nonsense. Okay, so a couple other people that we need to shout out really fast, and then we can get into the news. Shout out to, is it Toad McKinsley, who did the Shantae video. If you don't know who Shantae is, that's Foodie Beauty, or Chantel, it's Foodie Beauty. That documentary is absolutely fucking horrifying, but god dog, it's well done. And she's a nut. For anybody who thought that Amber was the worst, out of the two of them, they're both pretty bad. Chantel is on some next level shit with that one. So if you haven't seen that documentary, please check it out. It's great. It's about 2 hours, but I promise you're not wasting your time, and it's amazing. It's ridiculously amazing. Shouts out to Sunspot Gallery, Super Sloth Pants. Shouts out to Paul W. You guys know Paul. He's always in the comment section. Let's see here. Shouts out to Chio18 and her husband. Shouts out to Aladdin. Shouts out to Raven. Shouts out to all y'all. I hope all you guys are doing well. And that's pretty much it for the PSAs. Like I said, the new rollout should be beginning of the year, if not towards the end of this year. We're going to add some things to it. We'll see how that works out, but hopefully you guys like it and whatnot. I've been thinking about this for a little while, and we'll see. We'll see how it all plays out, but I think you guys will really like what I have in store for you guys for the most part. It won't be a complete deviation from what you guys see now, but I just wanted to kind of add a bit of, I guess, a bit of structure and a bit of atmosphere to what we're already doing. So look forward to that. Speaking of which, Raven, I actually, as you know, I already talked to you on Twitter today, but yes, I expect to see one of those two songs that you sent me pop up eventually. All right, like you're already on the playlist and everything, so big ups to Raven on that. Always coming through in the clutch, so I very much appreciate it. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into why you guys are really here. Ladies and gentlemen, we're here with one of our favorites. Oh, it's good to be home, ladies and gentlemen. It's good to be home. Snort Burnell, DSP. Use your Penne. A lack of gratitude. Only I can beg on the stream. $20 drama, another one. And free consoles. This one came out November 18th of 2019, which is today. Now, first things first. I told y'all, didn't I? I told y'all that the fan base was going to pay for those new consoles. Now, granted, that's nothing particularly new. Common sense brought all of us to this situation, but I was the first one to say it. Okay? It doesn't really matter. I'm the first one to say it, but you know, go. I'm in my zone right now, so let me work. Please let me work. I told y'all this was going to happen. For the handful of you, I'd say it's about a handful of you, DSP supporters who like jumping in my DMs and saying I'm an asshole and saying that if I was more like such and such or such and such and such and such, you know what I'm saying? Maybe, just maybe, I wouldn't get all the hate against me. I told each and every one of y'all, you're going to end up paying for them consoles. I told you that eventually that's what that situation was. Even before the Amazon playlist thing, I told you that you guys were going to eventually end up paying for it. The moment he figured out a way to make you guys pay for games, not that you weren't paying for games since 2009 anyway, but the moment that he figured out a way to get you guys to pay for games, you guys were stuck getting him new consoles and whatever other peripherals he wants moving forward. And each one of you were like, nah, he wouldn't do that to us. Nah, that's not going to happen. Nah, he might just ask us to contribute a little bit. No, he wants you guys to pay for all of it. Now you're stuck. So I don't know which whale is going to come out and make all that shit happen, but someone's going to do it. Because if not, he's not going to go over the new console. Now, for most of you out there, you're probably thinking, oh, well, he has to go over the new console. He will. By hook or by crook, he's going to get that money. By hook or by crook. Speaking of which, I don't know who the new whale is. I know there's some speculation, keyword speculation, alleged, that it's Planet Jeff on a sock account. It don't matter, to be honest. Until Jeff, if it is Jeff, until he exhausts his former, how do I word this? Until he exhausts his deceased wife's insurance money, he's going to try to help Phil wherever he can. End of story on that. But it's possible there's another whale in the wings. Who cares, really, to be honest? Whoever the cuck is that's out there doing it, he's going to continue doing it. So let him do it. But you guys are going to pay for those new consoles. That's the whole point. That's really what it all comes down to. So, but don't get me wrong. My DMs are still open. You want to go ahead and slide in and say how I'm going ahead and twisting the situation and DSP isn't actually telling you guys to buy new consoles. Fair enough. Go ahead. And I will talk to you just as I talk to anybody else. Your boy DSP don't do that. So, next thing, use your Penne points. Last time I checked, your Penne points don't have any value. So if he's using this as a way of gauging your opinions, that's as useless as using polls. So why would that be a thing? But we'll see how that's about. Lack of gratitude, who gives a shit? He doesn't do anything to deserve it anyway, so what? Okay, only I can beg on my streams, $20 drama. Now, I don't actually know what this is. To be honest, I know this isn't the DJ Runo situation. For DJ Runo, you guys know who he was. He paid $20 for Phil to play a game. Phil said he was going to do it, and then he came up with the usual situation on how he wasn't going to be able to use it for this game, and he had to divert it to something else. DJ Runo basically filed I guess he filed a chargeback, but Phil was told that I guess by a fake DJ Runo on his actual forums, or however that situation played out, that he reported him to Twitch and he reported him this, that, and third. Phil goes on a mini rant shitting on DJ Runo, only to show Phil as a complete and total fucking idiot and an emotional mess in himself, to come to find out that was actually a fake Runo, or DJ Runo only did one part of it, not all the extra. But he ripped into DJ Runo. He ripped into him heavily. Like he was sure that DJ Runo did it. That was the original situation. I'm not sure if I actually went over that, but funny stuff. But apparently this is a situation where somebody came out, I don't really know a lot about this, so I'll just give you guys a skeleton, I guess the skeleton cliff notes. Someone came through the stream and was offering $20 to Phil to basically pass along to somebody else for a game. Phil says, no, I'm not going to use the money for that. And looked like he was going to be on the verge of keeping it, but then he decided to refund it. I don't know. Whatever. We'll get into that. We'll see what that deal is. And then the whole thing about the free consoles. Which I already told you. I already told you how that was going to play out. So that doesn't matter either which way. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you guys are doing well. That's what's going to be on the news block today. We're probably going to go for single videos for a little while in the broadcast until I'm caught up, or in a reasonable manner, and then we'll start comboing stuff together as needed, as you know, as a utility, if you will. But ladies and gentlemen, let's not hold off anything any longer, shall we? Let's go ahead and get into it. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Snort Report, and this is DSP News. Always late, never breaking. Unreliable coverage that you can't count on. A GTG Network and Productions. You guys all know the slogan. I don't smell no bacon cooking yet. But before we get into that, you guys know what the plug's going to be. SnortBucks Coffee. I love SnortBucks Coffee. I saw that a lot of you in the last 2 videos, maybe 3, that you guys were very nice enough to go ahead and leave your flavors, your favorite SnortBucks flavors down below. Somebody had asked if could I make like just a short dedicated video to that, and then I could accumulate all of it there. Maybe we'll do that. So we'll have to wait and see. James the Lesser made me a sound clip that that will be incorporated later on into the Snort Report anyway. So maybe we'll do that. And I'll do that video and we'll try to compile all of it there. But please feel free under all these videos to go ahead and lay that down, because SnortBucks Coffee is great. It's amazing. Best part of waking up, ladies and gentlemen, is SnortBucks in your cup. So don't ever forget that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you guys all know the slogan. It's time for me to cut bacon off this piggy's back, and it's time to watch me work. Oh boy. Okay, so they switched up the layout a little bit, so this is going to be kind of froggy because it's been a while since I've done all the settings. We can do it.
And it don't stop. And it don't stop. And it don't stop. Hey, hey.
This is how to play the game!
Word. Hey, chopping it with Mittens, joking about his name is so fly. Mittens, cause he whipping, don't you get it, but that stove's hot, hot. Now let this be a lesson. Professor, he handling the hit in his possession. Ooh, what you cooking, what you cooking? Scalding hot beats, but blow up before it's cooking. Ooh, I know you're looking true. I'm out attacking with this beat, I'm a lady man. I'm really trying to date it out. What's the number trying to call out? What about my team? Wood, shout they don't get logged out. Made by Bethesda, the only way we fall out. Morocco, you a mole. Find another hole to crawl out. Hey, I'm sick of
Sound good?
Alright, sounds good to me.
What I want to do moving forward is implement.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, sorry about that. I'm gonna need a little bit of time getting back onto some of these settings. It's been a while since I've kind of worked off this layout. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are here with one of our favorites, Snort Burnell, DSP. Use your Penne. Lack of gratitude. Lack of gratitude. And only I can beg in the stream. $20 drama and free consoles. This is from November 18th of 2019. Our year of the pig. Our year of snort. Our year of gout. Here we go.
Penne points / channel points in this playthrough, because right now you guys have been, you know, very adamantly watching my streams, and there's people who have thousands upon thousands of these channel points accumulated, but they don't really have much to use it on. They do highlighted messages, or maybe they edit an emote, but there's not much else to do, right? So people have been asking me for weeks, is there another way that we can implement these Penne points and use them? And I've been thinking about it, and my mods and I put our heads together and said, okay, maybe one way that we could implement this is, since Pokemon is very much an RPG with a party system, why not make it so that the stream viewers can choose what Pokemon will be in my party? Okay?
Oh yeah, let's talk a little bit about this scam, if you will. It's a scam. It's totally a scam. So, I was talking to Asian GTG about this the other day, and Kevin. So here's the thing. Phil has this new thing with Pokemon, right? Where if you are the top contributor of the stream or whatever, you can name a Pokemon. Kind of like what he does in Minecraft. Which, if he tried to do that shit on Mixer, he would definitely not get away with it. Speaking of which, someone asked if I would go over, I guess, the new TOS for YouTube. And then I think someone else asked if I would go over the Mixer TOS and why Phil wouldn't make it. I guess I can do that. Give me a little bit of time and whatnot and look over those respectfully. And then I can take a look at that. And we'll see what we can make happen. Don't quote me and don't hold me to anything, but I'll certainly make a notation for that. But anyway, Phil has this new thing where... But thank you for the request, though. I appreciate it. So Phil ends up starting this new system with Pokemon that if you're the top contributor, you can go ahead and you can name a Pokemon. Now, there's some discrepancies with this because... From what I've been told, because I've been out of the loop a little bit, people are telling me that he's letting Pokemons go, or he's rotating them out for fresh Pokemons, which makes sense given how this system's going to work with him. He has to constantly be getting new Pokemon and rotating them into the lineup, so he can continue to get paid off of that. But that's going to impede on his progression in the game because he's going to be running around with underpowered Pokemon. And since he's not grinding, at least to my understanding, he's not doing a lot of grinding, let's say that. He's only going to be setting himself back. I've also been told that LSB is actually restreaming that, so I'm going to have to check some of those out and try to get caught up. Shouts out to LSB and Dark Dave Mears. And so that's a thing right now, I guess, right? Now, I don't know if Phil is actually letting his Pokemon go, the ones that are already being named. I don't know if he's saving them in his... there's a way of saving all of them. It's like it's not, I'm not thinking of the Pokédex. It's something else. Because he can, I mean, Jesus Christ, I have like 40 something pages, and any of you guys who know about Pokemon lore, you know what I'm talking about. He can literally save all of them in there, and he can name them and do all that. So this way, it's not like he's just dropping them and picking up a new Pokemon. Speaking of which, because he's dropping Pokemon like that, he's literally only holding on to the Pokemon that was named for like a stream, maybe 2, and then he's getting rid of them to get brand new ones. I don't have, like I said, I don't have all the details on that yet, but Jesus, Jesus Christ. If anybody's giving money to that, you're stupid. You're real stupid. Unless you could guarantee, like for example, he can carry 5 Pokemon with him, yeah? Okay. If he could, a smarter way of doing it is for the top contributors of the week, for example, right, for the week. Those 3 people, whatever Pokemon that you named, you're guaranteed to have all of them. Like, you're guaranteed that they're going to be on stream with Phil for a week or some shit like that. Or for a certain amount of days, if you will, if not a whole week. This way, it's not like, because if not, you're just kind of pissing your Pokemon away. You know what I mean? And also, Phil needs to stop being a bitch and actually let people really name whatever they want to name them. Doesn't matter how disparaging the fucking name is. Let that shit go, as long as it isn't like racist or sexist or some silly shit. Let it just go on. You know what I'm saying? So if someone wants to name that shit Tevin whatever, he should let that happen. You know what I'm saying? Or Wiggy or Wingbone or some shit like that. Whatever. He should let that shit slide. He'll make more money that way. But that's neither here nor there. But it's definitely a scam. It's definitely a scam. But from what I was told, his first night, he's playing Pokemon Sword. I don't think he's playing Shield. I think he bought Sword. He made $500 that night. He made $500 that night. That's pretty crazy. But it is what it is. The devil walks with some of us, I guess. Here we go.
And I said, that might make sense. If people have a bunch of these Penne points saved up, they can pick a Pokemon to be in my party for the day, right? And that's cool. Now, here's the thing. There's a couple limitations to this idea that we had. First of all, we don't want people picking the entire party. Reason being, I'm going to be constantly catching new Pokemon and wanting to try them out. There's also going to be situations, I'm sure, where I need certain Pokemon to use for their strengths and weaknesses to win certain battles. So if I have, 6 people say, put Magikarp in your party, and I have 6 flopping Magikarp and I can't win a match, obviously there's no point in playing the game. See what I mean? So what I wanted to do was that I wanted to control it so that only 3 people per stream can can pick a Pokemon to keep in my party for the entirety of that stream.
Wait, that's a bit counterintuitive, because if you can name a Pokemon, he's double dipping if you think about it. Hear me out. Watch me work. Okay, so we have 5 Pokemon that can be used at any given time. The key of all this is that he wants control. Please don't forget about that through all the blabbering that I'm about to throw out at you now. But he wants control over the situation. That's what the most important thing of all of this is. Now, he's saying that he's going to hold on to 2 Pokemon, and then he will allow people to name 3 to pick 3 that can stay in his party. But what ends up happening to the people who actually paid to name those Pokemon, for example? So think about it this way. So now, okay, you guys want 3 Pokemon to stay in my party at all times. You guys can use your Penne points plus whatever else he decides to drum up later on to make that happen. Now, as I said before, I don't know at this particular moment if Penne points actually have any value. You know what I'm saying? Like, you giving those Penne points back to Phil actually means anything financially to him. I don't think it does, or at least not at this point. So keep that in mind. But anyway, you guys got to show your saying Penne points over and over again is getting annoying. But you have to basically shill out your PP to him. Ha! I like that. That'll work. You guys got to continue to spend your PP with him so he can choose what Pokemon can stay in his deck, right? That's what the situation is. That's what the circumstances are. But then you have the people who paid to have a Pokemon named. So now we got a bit of a confliction going on here a little bit, because the people who paid to have their Pokemon named, or to name a Pokemon, I should say, should have priority, because obviously whatever they paid to have that Pokemon named should beat out this invisible currency that is PP or Penne points, right? But if you have enough people who spend all their Penne points to vote for certain Pokemon to get thrown into to be prioritized to stay on the team for a particular session, that could easily drown out those who paid money for it. And since Phil is probably rotating the Pokemons that are being named out on the regular, it's going to be very easy for people to forget the Pokemons that have been already named, if that makes sense. Sorry, I probably could have explained that a whole lot better than I did. So that's something to think about. And like I said, since PP or Penne points don't have any value to it, why are you allowing 3 Pokemon to be prioritized when really it should be just 2? To be honest. And then you have 1 Pokemon that was named on every stream because someone did pay to name it, so they should be at least in the party for at least 1 stream or 1 session. You know what I'm saying? But that's neither here nor there. But it's probably best for us to start looking at the bigger picture and seeing how this is going to eventually evolve into some type of con job, or a way for him to try to double dip or triple dip on it. Because I'm kind of already seeing how the wheels in his head is kind of turning with this. So my question is, how is he going to make that work? And like I said, as far as I know, PP or Penne points don't have any type of monetary value, unless Twitch does decide to implement a system to where it does, kind of like Cheers, if you will. If that's the case, then now you got a whole nother, thing to bitch about, if you will. So we'll give it time. We'll see how it plays out.
I figured that made a lot more sense, because that way it's half and half. You see what I mean? That's the deal. That's how I wanted to do it. So last night, I went into the special settings for my Twitch channel, and I set up this special reward for 4,000 Penne points. 4,000, okay? You could select a Pokemon to keep in my party all day long. And I didn't even talk about it yet. I launched the stream, and people already started doing it.
Lol.
And I'm like, oh, man, I know what's going to happen. It's going to get screwed up. Exactly right. So the first person, his name is Tag365, did it and says, oh, I want you to catch a Stunky from some southern marsh in the game and put it in your party. Now I'm like, now wait a minute. That wasn't even the agreement. The agreement is that I will take a Pokemon and have it in my party. Not that I will go find a Pokemon that I don't even have, and I don't even know if I can catch it today. Here's the thing, I'm in the early hours of the game. How do I even know if I can go to this area yet and catch this Pokemon, right? I don't.
Now, remember what I said before about control. I want you to think about that before I step back in.
Right off the bat, this guy jumps the gun and uses his Penne points to ask for something that I may or may not even be able to do. So what I will say is this. If I can get this Pokemon today, absolutely I'll do it. But I can't guarantee it because I don't know. I haven't played the game yet. I don't know where this marsh is or whatever. I don't know if it's realistic that I'll reach it and I'll be able to get this particular Pokemon. So I'll just tell Tag in advance. I hope that I can do this. I would love to do this for you, but you kind of jumped the gun. You should have waited for me to explain this perk before you did it. Okay?
No, you should have covered your bases before you... You should have covered your bases before you introduced this. Because it's almost like Phil was trying to say, oh, you guys can only name Pokemon that are in my party. That he already had in his... Not his party, I'm sorry. That he already had in his possession. It sounds like that's initially what he wanted to go with. But that's extremely closed-minded and putting himself in a box, which kind of falls into the DSP logic. So I think he tried to branch out a little bit and say, oh, okay, any Pokemon that I catch or I come across and whatnot, that it'll fall under that criteria. And then, I'll hold on to it for a session. Now people are saying, well, you need to go out to such and such and actually try to find that Pokemon, beat it, then capture it, and then hold on to it. In truth, for 4,000 Penne points, I would say that's actually a fair trade because it forces Phil to not just stay in one particular area. Sorry, it's early, and try to farm for Pokemon. It allows him to actually go out and see this semi-open world and try to, and really not be stagnant and actually go out there and force him to kind of do more than what's in his comfort zone. So he's saying now that this shit's a hassle, and the reason why is because he's required to do something that he doesn't really want to do with, if I have to assume, with little to no payoff, since there isn't going to be any PP at the end of this. Any Penne points, I'm sorry, at the end of this, because they don't have any monetary value, at least not that I know of. So you're kind of seeing the irritation, but also you're seeing, ladies and gentlemen, a very firm example of very short-minded thinking. You know what I mean? He can't sit there and say this person's wrong when you didn't lay out the circumstance properly. You know what I mean? And Phil wasn't covering his bases. It was almost like he thought people were going to have almost this sloth-like mentality like he does. And no one was really going to think up outside the box. He's looking at it like you guys are trying to exploit me. But in actuality, they're trying to help you. You know what I'm saying? Because some of the Pokemon that he has, or at least from what I've seen, I mean, he's not going to carry all those till the end of the game, obviously, and who knows how long he decides to play it. So he's going to have to branch out regardless. He's going to have to grow, if you will, regardless. You see what I'm saying? And that's why this is definitely a cash grab. I don't know if he'll ever even finish his Pokemon game, to be honest with you. I don't think he will. You know what I mean? I really don't. I think there's so much money that possibly can be had that he might not even care to. So we'll see. But I don't think, I think that's just poor management on his part. But you know, Phil's the one who knows how to run a business. The Burnell, the Burnell School of Business, if you will.
So that's number one. Number two, someone asked that I keep, oh god, what Pokemon was it? It's the bird Pokemon that I have in my party right now. I forget what it's called. Starts with an R, like something Rook or something. So I already have this bird in my party, and they said, please keep that bird in your party all day today. That's a perfect request. That's exactly what I'm looking for. Oh, here's a Pokemon you already have. We want to see it, you know, be used a lot and maybe evolve, so keep it in your party. Okay? So I'm keeping that Pokemon. Rookity, that's it. Rookity, that's correct. Rookity. So I'm going to keep Rookity in my party all day long today, and we're going to see, you know, how useful it is, and see if we can evolve it even. You know, after 4 hours of combat, maybe it'll evolve. I don't know. So that's perfect, and that's exactly what how I wanted this to be implemented. Then a third person uses the reward and says, go play Morrowind. Oh my god. So, for those who don't know, the way I set this up was so only 3 people a stream could do it. That way, we don't have 10 people trying to do it, and I can only fulfill the requests of 3. You see what I mean? So I set it up so only 3 people per stream can do it, and 2 of them were basically wasted, I think, because I don't even know if I'm going to get... If I can get to the Stunky today, great, but I don't know if I will. And the other one's a waste, is a joke. And I'm like, oh my god. So, for a first try... 1 out of 3. I mean, at least we got.
Let's get to the bare bones of this, because I think I've heard enough as it pertains to what the situation is. So, Penne points, or PP, means shit. Means jack shit. First off and foremost. Secondly, he didn't think the system out properly, so that means nothing. And third, was he using this tactic as a way of convincing people to be more interactive with him and give him actual money? I don't understand what his end game is with this. Like, I don't understand what his end game is. It's almost like he was actually doing this to try to be more interactive, but I'm not seeing where his payoff is. I'm not seeing where his payoff is, and I'm not seeing where the stream's payoff is with this. Let me explain. So you would have to give up 40 or 4,000 Penne points to even participate in this, right? And 3 people do it. So basically it's first come, first serve, right? So theoretically, even if the third person who contributed, even if you, the Morrowind shit or whatever that was he asked for, that's a joke, no problem. You can scratch that out. It's funny though. The second person who asked for, I guess for him to keep a Pokemon in his party, fair enough. It still seems like sloth-like mentality and on Phil's part, but it is what it is. The first person who asked for him to actually go off to another region or to another area and try to find that Pokemon, that seems valid. I don't understand exactly what he thought was going to come out of all this, because it's, to my general understanding, as I'm looking on Twitter at the moment, shouts out to everybody on Twitter, most of his Pokemon are underpowered anyway, or underleveled, and that's because he keeps swapping them out. So what was he expecting to come out of all this? Unless he was expecting people to contribute real money to him because he's going out of his way and being more interactive with them through the Penne point system. So it's almost like, for example, one of the mods behind the scenes were like, hey, Phil, I figured out a way that we could possibly get more people to contribute, and this would make you seem like a better person if you kind of came out and interacted with individuals. Use the Penne points, 4 people or 3 people, give up 4,000 points and whatnot, and then you basically entertain their request. And since there's no monetary value to Penne points or PP, most people wouldn't, no one can ever say, oh, there's some nefarious plot behind all this. But at the same time, people are going to see how you're interacting and be like, oh, well, maybe I'll throw Phil a couple more dollars because he seems to be genuinely nice today. Genuinely nice today. That's just my particular thought at the moment. This is very out of Phil's element. Because usually with Phil, you expect an immediate payoff. Darkside Phil doesn't do jack shit unless he's immediately paid for it. So this is a little bit different. So that's okay. If he's trying to be a bit more challenging, challenge accepted. Here we go.
One person out of the 3 people who did it, it's actually going to be implemented properly. Okay, but it just kind of sucks because there's no way to reset it as well. Like, I tried to reset it, and apparently it doesn't work while the stream is live. I basically turned off the perk, edited it a little bit, turned it back on, and no one can see it. They all say that it shows that it's expired. So I think the way that these channel point, rewards work is they only refresh once the stream goes offline and then online again. So I can't fix it. Essentially, I can't fix it, okay? Yes, that is right. It was Sung Kwan who requested Rookity. So shout out to Sung Kwan, who actually intelligently requested a Pokemon for today's stream, and he's going to get his reward because he was being very smart about it. Alright, now here's the thing. Now that we all kind of know what this is, alright, now today we've had some issues, what can you do? Now that we know what this is, moving forward, okay, I will implement this reward every time that I play Pokemon. Alright, so moving forward with the Pokemon Sword playthrough, every time that I play the game, I will implement this special thing so that you guys can use your Penne points to request which Pokemon you'd like to see in my party. So there you go. That's what we're going to be doing. Now here's the other thing too. If this works out, long term, if this works out and you guys like this, I can try to implement Penne points in other playthroughs as well. We can try to figure out how to do it, okay?
Wow! This is stupid. First off, this is a waste of Penne points as far as I'm concerned. This should be just a regular fan request during the pre-stream that something like this should be requested. Secondly, why isn't anybody thinking about using your Penne points that you acquire, especially if you have a bunch of them, to request a video for a retrospective stream? Why not do that? And no matter what the video is, if you have enough Penne points and whatnot, and Phil's trying to be more interactive, or at least seem like he's more interactive, that you can put your points down for that and request a video without prejudice. You know what I'm saying? Like, why is that not a thing? For example. Like, why does that have to be behind an actual paywall when, you know what I'm saying? Like, this whole Penne point thing, it seems, is futile as far as I'm concerned. It doesn't have any real value, and it doesn't really matter. One of the things, and one of the reasons why I say that is because, excuse me, as Phil said earlier, if he needs certain Pokemon, or certain combinations of Pokemons, if you will, to progress through the game, those 3 slots, someone's going to get X'd out. Like, someone's going to end up taking an L on that. Because he might need, for certain fights, against certain Pokemon, because Phil's not that smart, you see. Phil might need 3 or more Pokemon to beat a particular region, or a particular boss, if you will, or just a particular encounter against like another trainer, or a wild Pokemon, or whatever the case may be. He's not exactly the most savvy individual. So, yeah, that whole system with that's going to eventually get bodied. Eventually, that's going to end up getting drawn out. Like, this is already going to already expose itself for problems, probably sooner than later. This just isn't a smart way of going about it. And yet again, why does he have such an emphasis on Penne points? Like, what's going on behind the scenes, as Phil would like to say, with Twitch, that Penne points are starting to become prevalent? I'm very curious on that. I'm gonna have to look that up. Actually, let me just hit Twitch's front page real fast, or their facts section. I'll see what I can find. But I'm curious about that one.
But I have a big warning for everyone. Okay? You guys ready? You guys gotta listen. This is very important. So when I was creating these rewards yesterday for the Pokemon stream, a warning popped up. And it said, warning, channel points will more than likely disappear on December 19th, 2019. No! 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 Now, if you don't know what that means, what it means is that I'm in the early access / beta of channel points. Not every channel on Twitch has it. I'm in it because I've signed up for early access, and they let me into early access to kind of mess around with it and see how it works, okay? But apparently what they're saying is the early access is probably going to end in December.
Wow.
And they already explained that coming in January, they're looking to launch it site-wide. So what may happen is Penne points may stop working at some point in December and then come back in January. But what they're saying is they're going to reset.
The bottom line is Twitch is a bad business.
Okay, so just forewarning all of you, right now we really like this Penne points integration stuff, right? And we're having fun with it. It's probably going to go away for a while and then come back. Use them or lose them, because the Penne will spoil. The Penne will spoil in mid-December, and then they're going to have to make a fresh batch of Penne, but the Penne won't be ready for consumption until sometime in January. Okay?
Okay, see, I knew there was some type of angle to this, but it still doesn't benefit anybody. So you want people to use their Penne points now, because in December 10th, it's going to go away, and then they might relaunch the system. I mean, are they going to relaunch the system and actually make it, are they going to be able to monetize it in some way? Like, what's going on exactly? And why is it that Phil's putting this emphasis on it? Like, what did they tell Phil behind the scenes to be like, hey, anybody who's accumulated Penne points, make sure they spend it, because as long as they're using it on you, maybe we can give you like a bonus or something for, for people reusing those Penne points with you. I wonder if it has something to do with that. That would be kind of, I don't know, it's Twitch, so you can't really be surprised by anything. And yet again, why would Phil care if people had Penne points that they end up losing? That doesn't benefit him either which way. So why would that be even a point of concern? There's something amiss with this, ladies and gentlemen. I smell bacon. And you know when I smell bacon, that means something's up. I'm catching the whiff of it. I don't actually smell full-blown bacon yet, but something's amiss. It could be this pumpkin spice and vanilla bean, SnortBucks coffee that I'm drinking. It could be that. Actually, I'm actually drinking a coffee with that flavor. That shit's amazing. It's amazing. I didn't know that vanilla bean and pumpkin spice would work this well, but I'm glad it does. This shit's good as hell. Anyway, something seems up with this. I'm curious on what that's going to be. Because like I said, this is something it's incidental. To be honest. It's incidental. I don't understand why he would care so much. But, I don't know. Let's continue. Like I said, I'm sure it'll rear its ugly head eventually. Pork butt for everybody.
I am reliant on your crowdfunding contributions to keep things going around here, okay? So, give me your money.
Wicked Man. This is hilarious. This is the guy from yesterday. Oh my god, this is the guy from yesterday. Are you guys ready? This is funny. I gotta read this one. Wicked Man 36 tipped me another $1 saying, when will you be exonerating yourself with your bogus claim that you were valedictorian? By the way, he didn't even spell valedictorian even close to how you really spell it. Logically speaking, if you were it's valedictorian, not valedictorian. He's spelling it valedictorian. Oh my god, I've never even seen it spelled like this. I'm not even gonna continue. I've now been completely distracted by the way this guy...
So, wait a second. So, you put all this emphasis on reading this guy's message. You see dick. You get distracted and now you don't want no parts of it. Oh, man. Well, I don't know. There's always some speculation that who was more dick hungry in that house, you or Catherine. I think we know. Defiant sniff.
Spelled valedictorian. Not valedictorian, valedictorian. Oh my god. Well, Wicked Man, congratulations. You fail! Thanks for the $1 tip down.
He almost got me toxic. He almost got me toxic.
Thank you for the $1 tip. Continuing on, Good Game Goblin. Timmy $1 says, will you name me that free mouth Jasper? That would be at your discretion, but I feel like a $100 tip or something big like that should be an automatic naming. Feel bad for the other guys from last night. That's, hey, listen. The way it works.
Top contributor gets to name something.
Wait! People were naming... I said that the first stream that he did for Pokemon Sword, he got $500. Don't get me wrong. I distinctly remember saying that. But people are paying almost $100 per Pokemon just to name them? Almost? Is the money really getting that large? Oh, wow. You guys could have just bought the game and named your own goddamn Pokemon. You almost have enough to get Sword and Shield. Oh, wow. It's an amazing world we live in, ladies and gentlemen. It really is. It really is. Like, ladies and gentlemen, I know in a recent broadcast, he talked about how would he be able to get a job. He has no clue. It's going to be tough. It's going to be hard, whatever. How could they ever expect him to be independent and stand on his own two hooves if you're going to keep coddling him like this? Like, you know what I mean? Like, if you really think about it, like, despite all of Phil's bullshit about how hard it is and how he's not allowed to be a shill and get the money that other people who shill get on the internet and all that silly shit, right? He may get compensated. Nah, he doesn't get compensated better than they do. They make way more. Especially people like on the Twitch bounty system. Like, you got people who get paid like $4,000, per hour just to play Street Fighter on the bounty system for Street Fighter 5. Phil's definitely not touching that. He's an idiot though, but he's not touching that. Then again, he doesn't have the viewership or the engagement either. I don't know. Like, how do you ever expect this guy to be able to go off and do on his own if you keep coddling him this way? You know what I mean? Like, why would he ever really give any of this up? Because he gets rewarded for his bad behavior. You know what I mean? And for his laziness, essentially. This isn't even... you're not even preserving him for future generations. He's a relic. He's been a relic for a very long time. I can't remember exactly who it was that called him a dinosaur, but they weren't wrong. And he's just he's continued to fall apart since then. He's continued to decay. That's the word I was looking for. He's only continued to decay since then. Like, so when he sits here and tries to cry and give you guys this sob story that, oh, it's the Detractor's fault that I can't have this and I can't have that, what has he ever really worked for? And even with everything he doesn't have, think about all the people who compensate him to give him what he does have. You know what I mean? I don't know. DSP News.
It's that simple. It's definitely a competition, but that's how it works.
Every other streamers do it too. I'm not the first person who's done it, nor will I be the last. The idea was actually taken from other streamers who do this successfully, and that's why I kind of do it in certain things. I do it in mine.
Wait, so other streamers have their people in their fan base pay them to name Pokemon? I'm not saying that sounds completely out of the question, but something seems kind of off about it, because how is it that a man who can barely watch wrestling, right? And he says he's a lifetime wrestling fan. How is it that someone who can barely watch wrestling have time to watch another streamer make money? But then again, isn't like some new lore going around right now that that Phil is getting cut by another content creator on YouTube who Catherine likes to watch? I don't know if this person is another streamer or another YouTuber. It wouldn't be too far out of the question, since most people who do YouTube do stream either on YouTube or on Twitch, but you know what I mean. So Phil's wife is basically watching another man play. Not that that's a big deal, but I'm gonna be an asshole, so I'm gonna I'm gonna exaggerate it a little bit. So Phil's getting cucked by another content creator, right? And Cat's enjoying their content, but barely watching Phil's. Now Phil all of a sudden can't watch wrestling, which he enjoys watching, allegedly, so he can watch other streamers make money. Does this story really make sense to any of you? And can he name that person? Or does anybody know another Pokemon streamer who does this? Does anybody know another Minecraft streamer who has to pay money to get people to build stuff for them and then memorialize it? I'm not saying that it doesn't exist. I'm saying it seems something doesn't completely seem right about it. And more importantly, I doubt Phil implements it in the exact same way those people do. Because we all know Phil. He's someone who will go the path of least resistance until he gets called out on it. And then even then, he'll continue to do it because at the end of the day, Phil doesn't give a shit about the criticism. He just wants the money. To give you guys, most of you guys already know this, but to give you guys a point of understanding, if it wasn't for the detractors, he wouldn't have anybody to blame for his own failures and faults. And how do you blame the fan base over and over and over again, day in, day out, and expect them to give you money in the next breath? It doesn't work that way. He needs detractors to blame. If not, he has nothing and he has nobody. What friends does he have? What family does he have that he's not already bleeding dry like the proverbial mosquito that he is? And then Catherine is already, I mean, according to the pay stubs that were revealed last month, or the month before, whatever month that was, he's keeping track of almost every dime that she makes. Jasper don't count. 21 Jasper already made his $2,100 for the year. So, you know, he'll be expected to perform next year. So who else does he really have? And he don't like his fans. He won't shave for them. Most of the time he won't bathe. He doesn't look at them as real people. They're just walking ATMs. So who does he really have? I don't know. Let's continue.
And I'm doing it here in Pokemon. Yeah, you're gonna have heated competition, and I don't control that, right? So no, it's gonna be the top competitor. If everyone gets something named, then what was the point, right? That's kind of like when people say, oh, you know, you got a sub goal this month, right? But if you don't hit the sub goal, you should still do the reward anyway. It's like, wait, what? So if you don't...
That's ironic because for some of you who've been around for a long time, not on this channel, but just in the DSP's universe for any period of time, he used that exact same line for Patreon. Oh, I have to hold to my guns, guys. I have to go ahead and stand my ground. No pun intended. On that one. I have to kind of stand my ground and stand to my, and, you know, hold to my guns when it comes to the Patreon goal. You know what I'm saying? If we don't hit the goal, how can, you know, if you guys don't hit the pledge goal, I should say, I can't give you guys the reward. I just can't do it because then there's no incentive for any of you guys to hit the goal the following month and so on and so forth and yada, yada, yada. I have to just I got to stick to my guns, guys. Sorry, I can't do that. You know what I mean? Even if we're off by $100, who's to say next month we're not off by 200 or 300? Sorry, I can't do it, guys. If you guys want to see the Patreon goal, you guys have to meet the funding goal for it. If not, then sorry, we'll have to wait till next month. That's almost a carbon copy of what he used to do when he was begging on Patreon. Almost.
Don't do the thing. No, if you don't, you're gonna give the reward away, regardless. Then what's the motivation of people to do the thing you're trying to get them to do?
Give me the money.
You see what I mean? Like, how do you not understand how this works? It's pretty common sense, and by the way, it's something that's been, you know, happening with humans for forever. It's called motivation. You know, I want someone to sub to my channel, so I put out a sub goal so that people will want that desirable sub goal and will sub to make it happen. If I just give you the goal, then it... How do you not understand this? I don't know. This is kind of confusing to me that people don't get it, but it is what it is.
That's funny, because this is coming from the same idiot, right? Who, when people say, Phil, you can't expect me to give you money if you don't put on a quality stream. Dude, do you not know how long I've been around? Do you not know how many hours I'm here streaming? Is that not enough for you? Do I not work hard enough for you? Why can't you just accept what I give you? You guys, do any of you guys remember that? Pepperidge Farm remembers that.
No, we're not doing that. Okay.
This is my job, and it is about making money. Now it's, let's just make money. Is a scam. It's a money-making scam. It always was.
Why am I frog sick? But now that's a spin on why am I toxic. Why am I frog sick? Cheering says, why don't you just make a DSP tries it once a month as fan service? Everyone asked for it, and you just blew them off. How would you feel how would we feel that if we did that when you asked for tips?
I mean, theoretically, you guys have done that to him when he asked for tips. To be honest. But I will say this, though. To be honest, for all of you who are going to eventually slide into my DMs and complain, maybe you guys should consider asking him to do a DSP tries it, if not once a quarter, then maybe every 4 months. So if not 4 times a year, every 3 months, maybe 3 times a year. Just saying, it wouldn't be a bad thing, to be honest with you. For all the money that he begs for and that most of you guys give to him anyway, that's a really small thing. You know what I'm saying? I can't remember who it was. I don't remember if it was LSB, James the Lesser, or Agent Proper. One of the three said it recently. That the last time Phil did a DSP Tries It, he cried about that whole $7 burger or whatever. It was the Nightmare Burger or some shit like that, whatever it was. And didn't he not have a sub goal just to do that DSP Tries It? So we're talking about potential. I don't remember what the sub goal was, or I don't remember what the event was to make that happen. But here's the point. He made hundreds of dollars, potentially. You know, at the very least anyway. He made hundreds of dollars to do it. And he still bitched and complained because, oh, it's going to cost me $7 for the burger, $10 or $11 for the combo, and I'm not even going to like it. But who cares, because you made hundreds of dollars off that. On top of the fact that he still put it on YouTube and he still monetized it. So you're telling me for all the money that you guys give him, helping him to make 10,000 plus on Twitch more often than not. Plus he's still getting paid off YouTube. Let's not forget that. Plus the people who give him money on Patreon, his $300 or $400 a month. He can't do a DSP Tries It for you guys 4 times a year? Really? All right then.
First of all, I am providing a free service for you on a daily basis. If you feel like contributing the tips, that's great. You don't have to. As I say on every pre-stream, contributions are greatly appreciated, but not required. It's of people's own free will whether or not they contribute or not. I'm not forcing anyone to, right?
I'm good at lying.
Indeed. Now, here's another thing. Someone has said it again on Twitter, but it's been said a lot this year. Not a lot. It comes up a couple times this year, or it has come up a couple times this year. My apologies. That what would happen to Phil if the detractors didn't make content on him for 30 days? I pose this as a bit of a counter argument to that, if you will. What would happen if people in the pig cult or contributors or people who come to his streams didn't donate money to him for 30 days? So now all of the money that he makes has to be off Twitch ads, right? And off of subs. So here, I'll even be nice about it. He can still have his subs and he can still have his cheers, but no tips for 30 days. What would happen for Phil then? How much, ladies and gentlemen, and this is for any of you guys who kind of frequent Kiwi Farms, you guys can feel free to pose this argument there too, because I don't have a Kiwi Farms account. But how much money do you guys think he would legitimately generate if he didn't get tipped for 30 days? How much money do you really think he would bring in? Now, ladies and gentlemen, I know most of you guys are already thinking it. There is a couple of extra variables. Like, for example, the money that he makes off these anonymous tips that are made towards him or to him off stream that he never talks about. And then I had seen this in a Tevin video, praise be, because it's been almost an hour and I haven't said that yet. That Tevin brought up an interesting point that DSP's Mrhuth link is still live. So you could still give Phil money through Mrhuth. Is it Mrhuth? It is Mrhuth, right? I think you guys know what I'm talking about. You know, this is before he came back to Streamlabs. So that's available too. So I want you guys to think about all the avenues behind the scenes, in air quotes, that DSP supporters can send money to Phil, and we never hear about it. And with that being said, for any of you guys who are Kiwi Farm heads, I think, man, I'm sorry, I can't think of the guy who does the monthly calculations. I know what his avatar looks like, but I can't think of his name at the moment. Damn, I'm sorry, I apologize, I don't mean to be rude, but when whoever it is who does the calculations for DSP's monthly accumulations on Kiwi Farms, right? I'd like to know does he factor in the money that is made behind the scenes that we don't see? Now, granted, you can't calculate what you don't know. But, for example, if he was, let's say, in the month of December, would that individual, just off of, I don't know, just an educated assumption, would he consider making, when he breaks it all down, because he breaks that shit down clean. Eddie B43 used to do that too. But Eddie B43 might still do it, actually. So let me not count him out. He might still do it. But anyway, he breaks down all the factors and everything clean. Tips, subs, all that bullshit. He breaks it all down. Would he consider, at least for 1 month, doesn't matter when, but just 1 month, him go ahead and just leave one extra column there for phantom donations or phantom tips? You know what I'm saying? Or phantom contributions, if you will. And just take what we've seen over the span of the last 11 months, if you will, and just come to an assumption on what Phil might make for that 1 month of December, and just put that down there. Or any of you guys can do that too if you want, because I know a lot of you guys here on YouTube and on Twitch, or on Twitter, sorry, I'm not on Twitch, also, you know, come up with these same type of calculations. I'd be curious just to see what you guys think, because that's something that no one really ever focuses on. Now, granted, when Tevin exposed the fact that, Streamlabs had a feature where if you donated tips, it had like a tips leaderboard. When Tevin exposed that, then all of a sudden Phil took it down. When Tevin exposed that, Phil took it down. So, and in a lot of ways, you could say that Tevin did him a favor, because now we'll never know what he makes behind the scenes. Ever. Well, not ever, but we'll never have an accurate, you know what I'm saying, an accurate amount that is accumulated. What we do know is, at least up to that particular point, someone was giving Phil about $1,100 a month. We know that much. The question is it still going on? More than likely. And do other people do it too? Because there was more than just that name there. That was just the name with the largest with the largest contribution next to it. So just something to think about moving forward. You know what I'm saying? Just something to think about. You guys might want to keep in the back of your mind when accumulations of what Phil makes each month comes up. I'm not saying that you guys have to go ahead and go through the piggy vortex of what may go into that. What I am saying is, whatever total that you guys decide to come up with, somewhere in your subconscious, you have to remember that there is still, X out there, which is a phantom number that also gets accumulated in with Phil's regular, somewhere between 8 and 12,000 a month. I think it's as a point of conversation. I think that's something that should be said. DSP News.
And I'm already providing a free service. You are asking me to provide another free service on top of the free service I'm already providing, something that I have no interest in doing.
But the service isn't free, because he's being paid on both platforms. So sorry, my bad. The sugar's starting to get to me. How is it that what he's doing is a free service when he's being compensated for it on the platforms, on the respected platforms, I should say, that he's participating on? It's not free, if you think about it, because he is being compensated by both platforms respectfully. Then the money that's being contributed to him, whether through tips, subs, cheers, and so on and so forth on Twitch, and that behind the scenes money that we just talked about. And then on YouTube with, which, as I said, he's already being compensated by ads. But then the people who are on Patreon who basically give him money for their appreciation of him on YouTube. Because remember, Patreon was always linked to YouTube for the most part. So how is it free? If you really think about it, how is it free? How is it a free service? How is it a service if you're not paying for it? Think about that for a minute. How is it a free service? Let's go ahead and go back into some lore, if you will. So remember when that whole escort thing was going around? Don't worry, ladies and gentlemen. I plan to do an escort revisited sometime in the future. But you remember how that whole situation was going on? And Phil was breaking down how escorts get paid and all that. Fun, interesting stuff that Phil was saying back in those days. Very interesting. But it's your girlfriend, right? There's no escort, it's just my girlfriend, this, that, and the third. I don't pay her, she's my girlfriend. Okay. So with that being said, an escort, you pay to spend time with you. Your girlfriend just spends time with you. You may have to buy her stuff. You more than likely will buy her stuff. But still, you're not obligated to come out and pay her directly. Because she's not providing you a service. She actually likes you, hopefully. So she's actually spending time with you on free will. Phil isn't doing that. You're showing up to Phil's streams for something he's going to do anyway. And if he engages with you, it's only because he's being paid to engage with you. He's not stepping out of his comfort zone just to talk to you. Most of the people that he does conversate with, whether they give him money or not, have some type of badge and or icon next to their name, which signifies either A, they're a paid sub, or they've been gifted a sub, or they've given so much for bits or whatever the case may be. They're Johns, essentially. So how is it that Phil's providing you guys a free service when you have to pay to be serviced? You know what I'm saying? You have to be paid to provide a service, I should say. It's not exactly free if you look at it from that standpoint, is it? I'm just throwing that out there. It's not like Phil is streaming on Twitch for free for the love of it. It's not like Phil puts his YouTube videos or his videos on YouTube as an archive. Just want to put that out there. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, nudge. For free, right? So how is it that he's providing you guys a free service? When if you think about it, Phil has tried to his damnedest, if you will, to figure out a way to monetize almost every little thing that he does. But yet again, I'm just a brain dead detractor, ladies and gentlemen, and this is a free service. And as Snort Burnell has so elegantly put on stream, or not stream, but on screen, is that how many times has he threatened YouTube that if they don't, well, the people on YouTube, I should say, that if they don't step up, that he doesn't see a need to put his videos on YouTube anymore. Despite the fact that around that same time period, he was telling people that YouTube still is an archive. Actually, I think that's right around the time that he established that YouTube was going to be just an archive. But yet he threatened to stop uploading onto that archive if people didn't step up and support him. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense now that I think about it. But yet again, ladies and gentlemen, he's providing you guys with a free service. It don't sound so right now. It's not like, for example, when I'm hanging out with Seidella's mom, because you know how much I love my milk and cookies, that she's providing me a service because I'm paying her. We're spending time with each other because we enjoy each other's company. That's not a paid service. That's not how that works. We enjoy each other's company, and so we hang out and whatnot. And trust me, if you guys knew the amount of work that I put in, I could charge, but I don't. So I'm not providing a service. It's a recreational thing that we have. You know what I'm saying? We enjoy each other's company. Now, if I was charging, then that would be a service. But I don't charge. So Phil does charge you. Off the nature of the platforms that he's on, engaging with ads or whatever the case may be is theoretically your entry fee. And then he asks for contributions. At times he almost demands it. I don't know. I might be giving this a little too much thought. Let's continue. I love you, Milf and Cookies. Sentimental sniff.
Enjoy fucking doing when I did it for your own personal benefit. It wouldn't benefit anyone. Well, he's so ungrateful. Fucking greedy piece of shit. It's essentially the most entitled thing I've ever heard. What you're saying here right now. Okay? So, you're an idiot. Why am I toxic? More toxic, more toxic. Excuse me.
He's pretty upset for someone who's providing a free service. That's pretty upset. And if you were providing a free service, why would you call people entitled? And what does that service consist of? Because let's think about this for a minute. Oh no, I'm just being an asshole at this point. But let's think about this for a minute. If you're providing a free service, right, then there are parameters, right, within that free service that are set up. So I give you guys all of this. If you ask for anything else, you're overstepping your boundaries. You know what I'm saying? Or you're stepping yourself out of the parameters that are already set up. So let's go ahead and think about this for a minute. What are the actual parameters? Like, what are some of the details within this free service, in air quotes, that he's providing us? And how is it that people are being ungrateful or entitled by asking for more than what he's already giving them? What is it that he's giving them? What is the service that he's actually providing? Just something to think about. just something I wanted to run by you guys for a minute.
Oh.
Is that why your mom didn't swallow, Phil? Does she have gag reflex? Something? I don't know. I don't know. I just thought I'd throw that out there. Ugh.
Shit. God damn. Okay, that feels better now. Oh, it's fun, man. It's a lot of fun, and so good stuff. Thank you guys very much for everything. Great stream, right?
So hold on a second here. Controller out of the way. Thank you. No Couture just sent me another $20. Says someone needs $20 for Monster Hunter. Can you feel the Christmas spirit? Well, I would say is, No Couture, if you feel generous enough to give them the money, great. Thank you for the tip. Obviously, all the money, that I raise on my streams.
Why are you acting so nervous? So, dude's asking you to buy Monster Hunters for somebody, or at least pass the $20 off as game credits or whatever. Why can't you do that? Why does he have that chuckle going on like, oh, I'm about to snatch this, but let me explain to you why I'm about to snatch this? Jesus Christ, Phil, the next time I go and pick up Catherine, should I tell you, hey, I'm about to fuck your wife, and this is the reason why I'm going to, and you should be okay with that? Does Tevin do that? I don't think Tevin does that. I don't see a need to start, so whatever.
To go to bills and stuff.
Phil is a thief and a scammer.
And if I ever have the opportunity to, do something like a giveaway, I'll do it. Sadly, I haven't been able to do one in years because of the fact that I'm in such a situation that I'm in.
But that doesn't matter because he already gave you the $20. All you have to do is purchase the game and give it to the person. It's not even like it's coming from you. If you really think about it, it's not like it's coming from you. You're just passing it on to somebody else. But why is Phil trying to make this about himself? Ooh, I'm already starting to get triggered.
So, thank you. First of all, No Couture, you are the top contributor of the day. If you're not aware, no one topped you. So if you could email me and let me know next time around when we play Pokemon, what Pokemon would you like to be named and what name would you like to give it? Because you earned the right today with your contribution, so thank you very much for that. Alright, let's see here. Outside of all that, the only other thing I want to talk about, there's trolls who once again are spreading lies. So I'm just gonna, very quickly, do exactly what I need to do. So there are trolls right now who are spinning stuff that happened on the first stream negatively, and apparently the person who has been very nice here recently, by the name of No Couture, who has been contributing a lot. If you haven't noticed, No Couture is the top sub-gifter of the week. No Couture has been tipping a lot during the streams, okay? So here's what happened at the end of the Pokemon stream. I guess someone, Dragon Quest fan in the stream chat, was asking for money. Don't ask me why the hell they were doing this. This is not a place, you're not allowed to do this in my stream. It's actually a violation of the rules.
Wait, I'm sorry. Wait a second. Okay, we're going to cut in for just a second because I do want to actually hear this because it sounds like I want to hear how he bitched his way out of giving this guy that $20. That's the thing. Okay, so Street Fighter V has this new announcement. I already talked about that on Twitter a little bit or at least I had gone over some stuff about it on Twitter. Okay, so for $30, you get 40 characters, 34 stages, 200 costumes. That's a really good deal. Yada yada. I'm reading on Kiwi Farms from Mr. Oink Oink Oink. He's a pretty funny poster. Shouts out to him. Oh, okay. Phil's still bitching about Street Fighter V. I don't even know why. This is going to just expand the player pool. So he's going to have some scrubs to beat up until those scrubs turn into actual fucking beasts, and then they beast him. Here's my general idea. I'm going to need to insert that trailer either at the beginning of this or at the end of it. We'll see. Because why not? I personally think it's a good deal. To be honest. I mean, granted, if you were really smart, you waited for this anyway. But I personally think it's a good deal. For $30, you know what I'm saying? You pretty much get all the characters, plus you get Gil. Gil looks like a savage. But he's definitely not. They're definitely not going to let him be played at tournament. They better not. They better not. Even though a lot of his moveset looks like it's taken from... he's taken from a couple different people, actually. His moveset has actually been yoinked. At least some of his stuff has been yoinked from a couple different people. But anyway, I'm sorry. Either which, Gil looks like a really cool character. I would assume, though, he's not going to be tournament legal, but we'll see how that plays out. As for Phil and his nonsense, because I'm sure there'll be another video about this later, it's a really good deal, to be honest with you, for $30. You get a lot out of it. So for Phil to still be crying and complaining and preaching about how Super Turbo is still superior, when the version of Super Turbo that he's known for playing, that he probably had the most success in, was a shitty-ass port that no one respects, is insane. Is insane. And we're talking about, what, 2005 was when that Evo was, that he took fourth? So we're talking about 14 years ago. 14 years ago. He's still harping about a port that no one gave a shit about and wasn't legitimate anyway. Because he's too old, he's too slow. You know what I'm saying? His reactions are gone, his reflexes are gone, the mind game has changed, the meta has changed. He doesn't understand how the parameters of Street Fighter V works. Is it perfect? Is it even good? Well, not good. Is it great? No, hell no. Hell no. I mean, dude, they can take Street Fighter V back and give me CVS 2 online. I'd be happy. Give me CVS 2 online. I'd be fucking happy. Matter of fact, give me CVS 3 with King of Fighters 13 graphics. Like, you know how if you guys have played King of Fighters 13, you know what I'm talking about. When they hand drew everything and shit. Give me that. Give me that. And I'd be happy just off the rip. But for us to run around and still be complaining about a 14-year-old port, not even the actual game itself, a port is insane. But here's something that's more insane. I thought about this the other day. Because I was listening to this up-and-coming video game podcast, right? And I just started following them on Twitter. And they were talking about, this guy was talking about how he owns an arcade cabinet. And outside of a couple of nooks and crannies that he had to buy off eBay and elsewhere, he pretty much had the whole cabinet running in probably less than a week. And it probably cost him altogether, I think he said it cost him about $1,400. That isn't bad. Now here's my question. How is it that someone like Phil, who has made, allegedly, $1.7 million over his time on the internet, who has all these junk consoles, and I call them junk consoles because he didn't take care of them, who made all this money, who bought all this frivolous bullshit, statues and all this other dumb crap, why didn't he ever buy himself a Super Turbo cabinet? I want you to think about that for a minute. Why did he never purchase himself a Super Turbo cabinet? And then he could have gone back to his bullshit camera method and had it pointed right there at the cabinet. And then he could have done tutorials and shit off that. And then if you want to be real fancy, even though, you know, editing is the easy part, it's the improv abridged reaction style commentary, which is his forte, by the way, is the hard part. He could have edited it up to where there's side-by-side comparisons to any other Street Fighter game that he feels that's inferior. And he can explain step by step why it's better. Yeah, I know. That's big brain thinking on my part, and the Lord of Snorts doesn't think that way. But it makes one think. Anyway, here. Sorry for that little bit of a detour. Let's go back to what he's saying about this, because I want to find out about this guy's 20.
Rules to be asking for stuff and stuff like that. So I don't know why the hell this guy was doing this. But he was asking, for money, of all things, to buy to buy Monster Hunter World. Okay? So, I don't know why he's doing this in my stream. I don't know why the fuck he's spamming my stream chat. It's against the rules. It's not allowed. But this guy, No Couture, who's been very generous recently, he saw this, and he actually sent me a $20 tip at the very end of the stream, and he said, oh, here, I'll send Phil 20 bucks, and then Phil can send this to you, and then you can buy the game. Now, here's the thing. That doesn't work that way. I know No Couture was trying to be very well-intentioned here. But what you gotta understand is when you do that, now that's a transaction that comes through that's considered a business transaction. I now have to report that on my taxes. I have to pay.
Wait! First off, Phil's... Because you guys saw it in the first clip, he was sitting here big-upping this dude, talking about you're the top contributor, this, that, and the third. He was basically... He sounded like he was about to pocket that 20. That's the first thing. So his natural response was to pocket that money. Now, he's sitting here crying and complaining about how it's a transaction and he's going to have to pay taxes on it, this, that, and the third. Ladies and gentlemen, fuck all that bullshit. How much taxes is he really going to pay on 20 goddamn dollars? Really? How much money is he going to spend on how much how much is he really going to pay on taxes on that? It's literally a drop in the bucket to what the idiot already owes anyway, and or what Mommy Burnell is going to pay for anyway. How stupid does he think people are? Calling that a business transaction. Whatever. Whatever.
For that, with taxes, it's a pain in the ass. It would be one thing if it were like you're handing someone a game, and it's not. It's a financial transaction. It causes a big problem. So I actually said at the end of the stream to No Couture, I said, please understand, that's not what that's going to go to.
Wait a second. Don't you still take donations in or tips in to buy games? So just rack all that in. Matter of fact, do this. Why don't you just take the 20, or why didn't he take the 20, purchase the game digitally, and send the kid the code? So what? And then write it off as you're going to write off everything else anyway as a business expense. Because you remember, ladies and gentlemen, he does write stuff off as business expense. Matter of fact, there was a Snort Burnell video that happened recently. Haven't gone over it, obviously, because, I'm late. Where someone asked him, how does he actually do his taxes when people give him games and or consoles and stuff like that? Like, how does he work all of that out from a tax standpoint? And he says, I just go ahead and take in everything that's given to me, and then I send it off to my tax guy, and he handles it. If that's the case, ladies and gentlemen, then why does this exist? Why does this exist? Another thing, too. We're going to go back into some DSP lore. How is it that Phil says, I spend hours upon hours of doing my taxes and this, that, and the third, and then he says, I send all my information off to the tax guy. So why are you doing your taxes twice? And it takes you hours upon hours to accumulate the digital and or physical receipts and package all that up and send it to the guy? You see how stuff don't make a whole lot of sense? See how things ain't squaring up? This is no different. This is bullshit. He just didn't want to give someone else something on his stream. That's what it was. And that's petty and pathetic, but that's certainly petty. But let's continue.
First of all, I don't even know why Dragon Quest fan thinks I would have just handed him money to begin with, and why he's spamming my stream, but, if you wanted to do something nice, you could have sent it direct to him, but not through me, that's kind of messed up. That would be like, you're walking down the street and someone says, hey man, can I have 20 bucks? So then you hand your 20 bucks to someone next to you and say, hand it to him. You know what I mean? Now, I understand why I was doing it, because he's probably thinking, if Phil gives away a game, it makes Phil look good or whatever, but the bottom line is I don't need to, it's too complicated, it's too convoluted, alright? So, FYI, just to clarify for everyone, I refunded that money to No Couture, and I can prove it to you right now before assholes start saying shit. You refunded the buyer. It says right there. You refunded the buyer right on the screen, okay? So, there it is. You refunded the buyer. I refunded...
Holy shit, how scared are you? Here's my question then. I got another one. So, Now, ladies and gentlemen, this right here is just the evolution from that whole, oh, here's my folder with all my tax information in it. That's all this is. So he can bring out a folder with more than likely a bunch of blank pages on it and say this is his tax information. He's so scared over the DJ Runo situation, this is the reason why this part exists, that he literally had to jump on his little fucking iPhone here and go ahead and show people that he refunded the buyer or whatever. But this idiot right here still can't go ahead and pull up the email where YouTube and Machinima told him to delete those videos during the false copyright claims on the fan art. He still can't do that, despite the fact that he's not even with Machinima anymore. They don't even really exist, to be honest. He can't show you that to prove that he didn't just spurg out and delete all those videos on a whim because he's a goddamn idiot. He can't show you that, but he'll show you this. I want people to think about that. I want people to think about that because he keeps harping on about how these detractors fucked him over when it came to all those false copyright claims and copyright strikes or whatever. But I still hold under the theory, and I don't think I'm wrong, that he deleted all those videos. He sent his emails panicking to not YouTube, but to Machinima. Machinima probably didn't respond back to him right away because, you know, they're a business and their business doesn't revolve around his dumb ass. And they were like, we'll get to it. By the time they got to his case number, this idiot already deleted all those videos. The only reason why he throws YouTube into this situation, because Machinima was like, you fucking idiot, why'd you do that? Then they were like, okay, we're going to try to contact YouTube and see if they can retrieve those videos for you. We will try to at least. And maybe YouTube said they could, and they just couldn't give him the credit on, not credit, but they couldn't credit the views back to him. Or maybe they said they just couldn't retrieve it. Who could say? Because if you get your channel deleted and then YouTube brings it back up, they generally can bring your videos back up with the views on it. But maybe Phil did something in such a way that they couldn't. Whatever. Where's the emails proving that happened? Because if not, then my scenario, same depth and style, is basically the status quo. Because it can't go any other way than that. If you think about it. But that's just my opinion, of course.
The amount that No Couture sent. That way it stops any problems. No one can start with bullshit and say that I kept the money or whatever. And by the way, No Couture wrote me an email apologizing, saying, man, now I realize I shouldn't have done that because now it's just going to cause problems for you. Don't worry about it. We handle it in a professional manner. So, No Couture, that money should be coming back to you. And I will say this up front, because I've said this before, and No Couture, I don't know who they are, so I don't know if maybe they're relatively new to my streams or not. I don't accept gifts or donations or tips or pledges or anything like that that are directly required to go to something. And the reason being is because of a situation like this, some people...
You're a liar. Because doesn't he not take tips to buy games and or to pay bills? That directly goes to something. Actually, hasn't he taken tips to, hey guys, I need you guys to tip me so I can buy this insert game here so I can buy this game? So what are you talking about? When he says that, ladies and gentlemen, he says it because I don't want something that you specifically want your money to go to. Let me reword that. That clause only exists so when you send him money to do something, he doesn't have to. He doesn't want to spend your money to play a game that you want him to see. He wants you to send him your money to play a game that he wants to play. That's how that works. You don't have a say-so in what he does. You just shut the fuck up and send me that money. That's what you do. That's why this whole clause here exists. You guys send me money when I ask for it, which I'm always asking for it. So you guys send me money so I can play the games that I want and so I can, keyword, do what I want. Not for anything that you want. You don't matter in this situation. You're just my pay piggies. You're just the walking wallets, walking ATMs, if you will. You don't have any more of a say-so than that. You're only here so I can continue to keep walking on this broken hoof that I have. That's it. You don't tell me to go and fix the hoof. You don't tell me how I should fix the hoof. You don't even get to drive me to the fucking doctor's office or the veterinarian to get it fixed. You just keep giving me the money so I can keep saying that I'm going to eventually get it fixed. even though I'm never going to fix it. That's pretty much what your jobs are. You don't have any more say-so than that. That's the reason why, ladies and gentlemen, that clip exists. Or that stipulation, I should say, exists.
Over the years, they send me funds. They're like, oh, I want you to buy this game. I'm like, wait a minute, I didn't even agree that I was playing that game. Why are you sending me money? Now that I have to pay taxes on this money and everything. Like, what are you doing? Okay?
That's funny, because when someone asked... Because I can actually tell you when it started. Well, right around the time it started, I should say. Someone asked him to get the Star Wars game for VR, I think. For the PSVR. Or it was a PSVR game of some type. Just in case I get the game wrong. And the guy sent him like $50. He's like, hey, Phil, here's X amount of money. I think it was like $50. Can you please buy this game and play it? And I'd like to see your review on it. Phil did that same nervous chuckle, was like, thanks for the $50, guys, but, or the $50, who the fuck his name was, insert cuck here. And was like, I really appreciate you sending me the money, but it's kind of fucked up that you're going to make me do something. You don't tell me what to do. When you send me a donation or when you send me a tip or whatever, it's my money and I can do whatever I want with it. You don't have a say-so in that. So I appreciate you giving me the money, but you know, it's my money now. It's not yours. You don't have a right to tell me. The guy, same guy, sends him another $50 and says, oh, I'm sorry. I just thought, you know, it would be, you know, it'd be a nice gesture or whatever he said. And Phil was like, oh, no, it's no big deal, man. It's just, you know, it's kind of messed up that you would make me do something. Or however he worded it. It was pretty close to that. And then the guy sent him another $50 saying, okay, well, everything's all well. Or no, I think Phil was like, at that point, Phil was like, oh, but if you really want me to refund you that original 50, I will. Not refund him the 100, refund him that first $50, then I can, and, you know, there'll be no problems. And then the guy sent him an additional 50, now we're up to $150 now, and said, no, Phil, don't worry about it. Just go ahead and keep the money. That's why all of that existed. Jesus, that's gross. Jesus, that's gross.
So, if this situation ever happens, that's exactly how I'm going to handle it. Okay. But FYI, the money is refunded, so no couture, no worries, no problems, nothing negative happened as a result of it. I appreciate all the support you've been giving everyone. I mean, everyone should be grateful to No Couture. He gifted over 60 subs just this week. You've been a really nice, positive influence on the stream, so thank you for that. And don't worry, no problems. Everything's cool, okay?
Wow.
Dragon Quest fan tipped me $5.
Okay, guys, real quick. So you remember how I was talking about that guy on Kiwi Farms who breaks down all of Phil's monthly, what he accumulates monthly? His name is Actually. Okay, because like I said, I couldn't remember his actual name, but I remembered his avatar on there. Okay, so shouts out to him. My bad. I apologize that I couldn't remember his name right off bat, but I do remember his avatar though. So good shit on that.
That actually makes Dragon Quest fan the top tipper of the day.
Oh, shouts out to Kama too on Kiwi Farms too. He's you should follow some of his posts too. They're pretty insightful.
So let's get him up on the leaderboard. So Dragon Quest fan tipped me $5. He says the following. He says, Phil, I am very remorseful for my previous conduct. I've shamed our chat and my crown. I humbly approach you as a mere frog among toads. Could you spare my primitive existence with your majestic clemency? Well, first of all, I wasn't really saying anything negative about you, so I don't know why you're afraid that like you did something wrong. But if you guys are wondering what he's talking about, I don't know. I think yesterday. All right, here's what happened yesterday.
Wait,
okay?
I thought you said you didn't know what he was talking about. You don't know how he stepped out of line. You didn't say anything negative about him. Then, okay, I need to stop lying. Okay, guys, I think this is what actually happened. Yes, I think this is what he was talking about. Oh no, okay, this is what he was actually talking about. Jesus Christ, it's bad enough that one of them was already acting like a cuck, but now you want to sit there and lie and act like you don't know what the situation is when you clearly do? You got to understand, ladies and gentlemen, his whole life revolves around this shit. He don't have anything else better to do. So of course he knows what the hell's going on. He tries to make himself seem like he's detached from it because, oh, I got a wife, I got a cat, so this isn't my life, guys. This is just something I do. This is your life. So it's funny how you run around here and call everybody nudniks and all whatever other silly shit he says and say people have no lives and this, that, and the third, but you truly don't have a life. This is your existence, if you will. And no one else can define it any better than that. Just saying.
So yesterday I was playing Pokemon Sword, and it was a great stream. Everyone was enjoying it. I caught a ton of wild Pokemon and everything. For some freaking reason, during the stream, Dragon Quest fan starts talking about Monster Hunter World. Now, you guys know I didn't play Monster Hunter World.
So we were just talking about this just a minute ago. Now you're saying you didn't know what he was talking about, and you weren't talking about him bad. You weren't speaking badly of him. Then you try to go through all these circles only to explain the situation in great detail. Wow.
I did try the beta, and when I played the beta in early 2018, you stream viewers said you hated it. You said the game was incredibly boring to watch, and don't play the game, Phil, because if you play it, it's not going to be an entertaining playthrough, so skip the game. You know, so I did. Well, ever since then, there seems to be a group of people who still want to see me go try it anyway. To which I'm like, I'm really not super interested in it. The beta wasn't super exciting. Seems like a game that if you're playing co-op with friends, it's fun. But outside of that, I don't know how it would be an entertaining playthrough for me. So I just kind of stayed away from it.
Yeah, because you don't have friends, and the ones that you did have kind of stay away from you. Makes sense.
So anyway, Dragon Quest fan, yesterday during my Pokemon stream, says, oh man, I really wish someone would gift me $20 so that I can buy Monster Hunter World. Now, I don't know if he was saying he wanted to play it with me, or if he was saying that it was just for himself. I have no idea. You know, I was playing Pokemon, so I don't even know what happened in the stream chat. I don't even know what the actual discussion was that went down. So for me, it's all kind of like confusing, like what really went down here. I don't know. But I guess what happened was, someone who's been a contributor recently, who's contributed a lot to the streams, gifted a ridiculous amount of subs, and has just in general been a very positive presence around here, saw this and was like, oh, here's maybe an opportunity, to help out one of Phil's viewers and fans. So he sent me $20 on the stream, and he says, oh, Phil, here's some money you can give to this guy, here's, let's get into the Christmas spirit or whatever. So he does this, and I'm like, uh-oh.
Unbelievable.
Now, the reason I said uh-oh is because, sadly, this was not exactly how this guy had thought it was going to be. Okay, I'll be honest here. What you guys may not realize is that when you tip me, it's not like, oh, here's Phil on the street and I hand him $5. Everything that you send me is a business transaction. Okay, when you send me a tip, that's a business transaction. I have to document that with the U.S. government. Yes, I actually have to document this with the United States government. To make sure.
And $20 is going to break you when you weren't paying state and occupation tax for 3 years? That makes sense. Sure. The government's going to send you, don't get me wrong, the government's going to get their money regardless, but yeah, Phil's making it sound like they're going to throw him under Leavenworth for not reporting $20. Sure. It's not like, ladies and gentlemen, Phil does his own taxes, remember? He pays a tax guy thousands and thousands of dollars each year to do so. But I know, GTG, didn't you just say earlier on that he spends hours doing his taxes before he sends it to the tax guy? Yeah, I did. I certainly did. But what you might have also forgotten is I talked about business expense and how he does take deductions for, business expenses. That's a thing too. But, semantics though. It's the rant and raving of a brain dead idiot. So keep that in mind.
That, number one, it's documented that I received it, and number two, that I pay taxes on it, okay? Now, I know that the common viewer here doesn't give a shit about this, I understand that. I don't, but the thing is, this is all stuff that has to take place, So, I think the intention here was that Phil would be, I'd send Phil some money, and then he'd be able to do, like, a giveaway for this guy, and it would look like a positive thing that happened on the stream. Sadly, what ended up happening was I was like...
Quick thing, too. I'm sorry, because I'm kind of multitasking here. So I'm looking at Kiwi Farms real fast, and I'm reading a post by Nigel of UKIP. And someone asked the question that you guys believe that Phil plants fake donations sometimes. He was doing, allegedly, he was doing that through Muggsy. So yeah, he's done that before. Alleged, but he has done that. Well, now, this is something I didn't know. You can fake pop-up messages in Streamlabs? Oh my. Something to think about. I didn't know you could do that. And what's the third part here? Cat sends him tips or cheers. Yeah, there's no proof of that. Yeah, there's definitely no proof of that one. Interesting stuff. Shouts out to Nigel of UKIP on Kiwi Farms. Good shit.
Well, I can't really do that, because if I give this money to this guy, now this is another business transaction that I would have to pay fees on to send him the money. Also, I have to pay taxes on the money that I received. So chances are with this money you sent me, either I keep it or we're going to have to work something out. Okay? So, basically the stream ends, and, you know, I'm not thinking too much of it at all. I don't give a shit about it, right? Big deal. We'll figure it out behind the scenes. It's not a big deal. Of course, the usual shitheads, the assholes who I've already talked about, who like to spin stuff negatively, turn this into,
Oh, well, Phil was specifically sent money on a stream to give to a viewer so he could buy Dragon Quest, excuse me, not Dragon Quest, so he could buy Monster Hunter, and he pocketed the money and kept it. What a piece of shit. What a stealing piece of crap Phil is. Alright, it's pure greed and theft. It's illegal. This guy is a thief.
and this is just what I'm talking about. This is what they do all the time to try to bring in drama and views and stuff. All right, for their own channels, they completely fabricate a situation. Obviously, this is not what really happened at all, but this is what they do. Okay, which is why I keep telling people, you know, it doesn't make sense to you can't send me money with the intention that I'm going to spend that money on anything in particular unless I agree to it first. Because sadly, this is exactly what
then you would never get the money because you would always come up with an excuse not to do it. That's the first thing. Second thing is, and I've already pointed out, you kind of had that mentality that you were going to take that 20. Did he do it? No, because like I said, that DJ Runo thing still haunts his ass. But you kind of had the mentality that, hey, I can't do that because of tax purposes. Thanks for the tip. You kind of had that mentality going. So that's that. Also, on top of this, ladies and gentlemen, how many times has Phil beat somebody out of money? A couple of times. More than a couple of times, to be honest. It's not going to change. So for people to have this level of scrutiny against him isn't without merit. He's not exactly the most honest individual. You know what I mean? He's not the catalyst, but he's one of the best examples on why there isn't a lot of trust online anymore. He's one of the best examples. He's not the example, but he's one of the best examples on why it's like that. And whether you agree with that or disagree with it, I respect it either which way. But he's a pretty good example of your modern day con man. You know what I mean? You can't run around here, ladies and gentlemen, and say you were a self-made man for over 12 years when you were accepting tips for games as early as 2009, if not before that. And that's documented on your channel. And on my channel too. So it's a thing. It exists. Just saying. It's discrepancies like this that have built up over time. Phil makes it sound like, oh, he said one single lie and that's how this whole hate train has come upon him. And that's not the case. It was the accumulation of multiple lies, of multiple cons, of ripping off and downplaying and shitting on multiple people that has brought us to where we're at now. This didn't happen overnight. It didn't happen overnight. DSP News.
idiots do. They spin it to be their own negative shit, and the next thing you know, we're all up to our armpits and shit. And it's supposed to be a fun gameplay stream. I don't like being up to my armpits and shit on my gameplay stream.
If that's the case, then why don't you bathe more? Just saying.
You see what I mean? So, after the fact of all this happening, this very generous person who's been supportive recently realized what was going on, and he actually contacted me, and he's like, Phil, I'm so sorry. Obviously, this was not my intention that this was going to turn into something negative. I didn't know this would happen. What should we do? And I was like, all right, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to refund you the money. Since this was specifically sent for this purpose, I'm going to refund you the money. That way no one could say otherwise. And then if whatever, after the fact, just, don't do that again, because now we know what's going to happen. So I refunded the guy the money, and absolutely nothing else happened. That was the end of it. But now I guess Dragon Quest fan now is getting wind of what happened, and he hit me $5 and is apologizing for the whole situation.
Super pussy.
Truth of the matter is, I don't even know that Dragon Quest fan was being serious. I actually think Dragon Quest fan was just kind of dicking around with what he was saying. Like, I don't think that this was a serious thing that he was saying. But I guess, the whole thing just blew up out of proportion into something really stupid. So, sadly, any other stream on Twitch, you could probably do silly jokes like that, and they wouldn't turn into anything. But sadly, on my streams, they do because of these sicko fuckheads.
It's very salty, but it also has this like sour flavor to it. It does. I've got this aftertaste in my mouth. Ugh. That just, it's not going away. It's a lingering saltiness in my mouth.
Probably should have brushed your teeth that morning.
That is just not very pleasant.
Who like to do stuff behind the scenes and mess with us. So just understand that. Be careful what you say and do on my streams, because then it can blow up into stupid shit like that. Okay? Fair enough? Okay, there you go.
Lego Mario took me another $1. Says, if you're still struggling to afford games this year, what will happen when the new console gen begins? How will you afford the new systems? We'll see. A lot can change, you know, in a year. We don't know what the hell is going to happen between now and next year. Quite frankly, maybe this will be something that I set up. Once those consoles are available for pre-order, I could maybe do it on my wish list. Put it on my wish list if
I told y'all. When he, ladies and gentlemen, let's go back a little bit. When Phil Bitchton complained about the Nintendo Switch situation, remember when his Nintendo Switch got bricked, and someone anonymously sent him, or whoever it was, sent him a new Nintendo Switch? That right there changed the game. Now, ladies and gentlemen, don't let Phil, if you go back and you listen to that original, those original videos, he makes it sound like, oh, he has a bricked console and he was stuck and he's just going to have to take the loss on the money. Obviously, that doesn't happen. You take that shit back to Best Buy, I think is where he bought it. You tell him it's a brick and it don't work. He said, oh, well, they won't have any more in stock. They probably didn't. But guess what they did do? They gave him his money back. That's what they did. They gave him his money back. And then what happened? Someone else, out of the wings, ended up... Someone out there, you know what I'm saying? Out of the wings of the void, if you will, ended up buying him a console. I'm not saying that Wings bought him one, because Wings didn't. Because I don't even think Wings owns a Switch. I wish he did, though. I really wish he did. Anyway, because I'd like to see him play Smash against like LSB, Cyber the Wolf. Yeah, I'd like to see him do that. That would have probably been cool. I think Local Slam actually has a Switch too. I know Dante Crisis has a Switch. That'd have been kind of cool if that would have happened. Anyway, sorry, but someone ended up buying him a Switch, and there you go. End of story. So not only did Phil get his little $300 back or whatever it was, but he got a brand new Switch. And his unboxing was still monetized and put on YouTube. He lost nothing except for day one views from playing the first Zelda game. Other than that, he still won out. When that happened, that changed the game. Because now, and to be honest with you, I'm surprised he didn't start an Amazon wish list then. I'm surprised then he didn't start an Amazon wish list. So then what was the next big thing after that? He ends up getting a new Switch. Then it was the TV and the PS4 Pro. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if I ever even went over that chain of videos, but if I remember correctly, if my history serves me right, someone paid for the PS4 Pro. Someone bought him that, and he donated the money for the 4K TV. He said someone else bought the TV, and then he switched it up and said he donated the money for... he actually donated the money for it, and then, I don't know. It's something along those lines, though. If I remember correctly, though, someone else actually did pay for the PS4 Pro, and then he donated the money for the 4K TV. I'm pretty confident that's how that worked out. But, Phil lies so much that can't keep up with all of it. Then we end up getting the mini consoles being sent to him for the most part. Then all of a sudden we got the Amazon wish list. It was all building up to this. People sending him game codes and so on and so forth, and physical games for a little while. This was all building up to the new consoles. He basically conditioned people over the last few years to this point. He may not have even realized it, but I did. I knew for sure. I knew without a doubt. Go back, you can check my old broadcast. I said that's what's going to happen, especially right around the time of him introducing the. Sorry, I know people don't like me snapping right into the mic like that. I'll try to do it off to the side. But I know for sure he did talk about, I can almost guarantee, if you go back into my early broadcast, especially right around the time of the Amazon wishlist being unveiled, I had said it. But I had said it before that. Like, it was always going to be this way. It was always going to be this way. That someone or two people or a couple people or whatever, if it's one person, someone's going to be paying $1,000 to make sure Phil gets the new PS5 and the Xbox Scarlet, I think is what they're calling it. Or it's just a name holder for right now, whatever. Someone's going to kick up that bread for that. No matter what. Someone's paying the money for that. Even if it has to be distributed amongst a couple of people. That's what's going to happen. He's not going to shell out the money for that. But because he has the cult is so invested that if he doesn't get the new consoles, he's going to fall behind even further than he already is. It's bad enough the idiot's already behind the times. If he don't get his hands on a brand new console week 1, he's going to be even further behind the ball. And I'm not even going to embellish anything else because I don't want to take nobody else's ideas away. I want to see how that plays out. But I guarantee you, I had guaranteed you, I should say, that this was going to happen. This was going to be the ebb and flow. There was no other way it could go. That's why this whole bullshit about taxes and I'm always broke and I got all these overdrafts and all this bullshit works out. Because there's going to be someone out there who's going to fall into their inner cuckiness and be like, I got to help Phil. I got to help Phil. He can't afford to be behind. You know what I mean? Look at how he carries himself. Look at how he carries his streams. Look at how he complains about his real life or his IRL life and shit. If he falls behind on this next generation of consoles, it's a rip. It's the end. Or it could be the end. He can't afford to be behind the 8 ball. Not anymore. Not going into 2020. Especially for all of you guys who might be watching YouTube and how things are going on in the gaming sphere at the moment. You got a bunch of sphere with some of these young and up and coming gamers out there. No, like they're not playing no games. Like, you know what I mean? Not at all. You got some female content creators because I follow a couple of them because they play 7 Days to Die and Death by Daylight, and they're going hard in the paint, putting their money together or saving their money up for these next consoles. And then they're going to hit the streaming platforms, whether Mixer, YouTube, or Twitch, as hard as they possibly can. And if you look at Twitch and how things are shaping up with that, in 2020, they need to get their shit together in the worst possible way. YouTube has its problems, but you know, it is what it is. And Mixer is looking more and more viable by the day. And Phil is literally at the bottom of the goddamn barrel. You have someone who's been streaming on the platform since, mid 2017, who's still treating this shit like he just started streaming yesterday. He can't afford to fall behind anymore. He can't. He can't. Sorry. Ignorance is bliss for only so long. Just saying. To protect his air quote business. He doesn't have the luxury of bullshitting anymore. Dspnews.
A fan wants to be nice and, pre-order a console for me, that would be really awesome. Oh! Oh!
Not a children's entertainer, but yet, people are starting to put together compilations of clown moments like this. Keep that in mind. Keep that in mind.
What a waste.
You know what I should do? I should clip this and be like, guys, are you having a problem with finishing too early? I know. Well, I don't know. But Phil knows. Maybe there's hope for you guys. I don't know how I'm gonna play that yet, but that would be funny. I should really do that. That'd be hilarious. I should do that. That'd be fucking godlike. Let's put that on the board.
Let's roll. Oh! Oh my god! And obviously that would help me out, that not have to worry about how am I going to afford this giant amount of money later on in the year next year. We don't know. We don't know what's going to happen. We'll see. I'm not really too concerned about it right now because it's a year away.
He should be, though, because you got to think about it this way. He definitely needs someone to come through on the clutch and get him those 2 consoles, because who's going to buy Catherine her new consoles? And she may very well be more of a gamer than Phil is. So, she's definitely going to want both of them eventually, or at least one of them. So think about that, too.
Okay.
Oh, here we go. An ashamed DSP fan tipped me $1 and says, I can't even admit to being a contributor at the church confessional. There you go. They're insanely ashamed of being a DSP fan. Well, I'm sure there's a few of those out there, too. Thank you for the $1 tip regardless.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure your parents fall into that category, too. Just my opinion, of course.
Conscientious troll tipped me $1 and he says, I'm a troll who enjoys trolling Phil, however, donators are safe. Who are these people who are making these names up? All right, thank you very much for the $1 tip.
Ray tipped me $5 and saying, how do you feel about people referring to your life as Lord? Do you find it impersonal and objectifying? No, I just find it fucking stupid. I smell salt. Because they act like everything that I'm saying is a joke or it's not true. So they make, the lore, what's today's new lore about Phil? The shit that he's making up, and it's the new saga of his story, the new arc, right? As if my story is some kind of an ongoing dramatic manga.
It kind of is, and I'm kind of wondering who you're watching, because there's less than a handful of people who actually say that on video. Yeah, we're just going to go ahead and leave that alone. We're just going to leave that alone.
In reality, it's not. That's what you do when you're an idiot, and you just want to make something over dramatic for your own intention and purposes. So I think it's stupidity at its best. By the way, it's $5.01. So
I mean, maybe, but people are entertained by my stupidity. So that's something, right? Maybe, hopefully, I don't know.
It's something that a dumb, immature kid does. So it just proves the maturity level of people who say that dumb shit. You guys complain about me and say, Phil e-bags and Phil has indoctrinated children who send him money, blatantly milking for money. It's a money pit. It's gone, just gone like that. In an instant, fucking gone. I just care about money. I just can't help it. I e-bag.
Oh yeah, I think that's a good way to finish that one. Yeah, I can live with that. I can live with that e-begging line. All right, so sorry, give me just a second. I got to try to clean this up a little bit. Thank you yet again to Snort Burnell. Very much appreciate it, as well as Mrhuth Stuff over the last couple of videos. Very much appreciate it. And how do we do this? God damn, I'm completely out of touch with this. Give me just a second. All right, didn't completely botch it, so that worked out. Okay, guys, so there we go on that. I'm still missing. I'm still sorry, guys. I'm still messing up here. What am I messing up? Let's see here. Drop that. Okay, now we're good. Okay, cool. Oh man, it's been a while since I've done this. All right, guys. So what do we take from all this nonsense? So, the Penne points thing doesn't make a whole lot of sense, to be honest. I don't know what his end game is with that. But he obviously has some type of agenda. We'll have to wait and see on that. On the lack of gratitude thing is it's a two-way street, to be honest. I think given the amount of money that Phil has been given, let's just say over the span of just 2019, our current year of gout, he should be going out of his way, which isn't much, by the way, to be accommodating the people who come to his streams and give him all this money. But like I had also said to you guys, he wants to be paid to exist. That's all he gives a shit about. He wants to be paid and compensated to exist. And doing anything over that is considered being entitled. which is ridiculous when he expects people to give him money so he can sit on his ass and continue to play games for a living and do fun stuff. How is that not entitled? But I'm a brain dead detractor for saying something like that. Okay, only I can beg for money on the stream, $20 drama. He did that because he was scared. Obviously, the DJ Runo thing still bites at his ass because he went off on the goddamn plug, wasn't even ready, didn't even take some time to think, oh shit, maybe this was a fake, maybe I don't have enough information yet, I shouldn't have gone off in my feelings and told DJ Runo, no one wants you here, including me. That's what happens when you're emotional. And that certainly is what happens when you're unstable. Because, and this proves my point in a lot of ways, but one of the major things that is spoken about in the Detractor community is about Phil's paranoia. And because of Phil's paranoia and how emotionally unstable he is when he goes off on the fucking plug like that. When he goes off on the fucking hook like that. And because of this, he assumes everybody is talking shit about him, or somebody, if not everybody that's over there, is going to betray him in one way, shape, or form. This proves it. He's the equivalent of a rapper who makes diss tracks on everybody and just sits on it in the vault waiting for someone to finally get up out of line, which allegedly Drake is like that. That's kind of what that is. He trusts no one. He doesn't value anyone, and if he does value you, you only have so much value for what you can provide or what you can do for him. After that, you can be casted off. That's how his mind works, because he believes everybody else thinks the way he does. You've heard him talk about that a bunch of different times. So you're this $20 drama is really no different. You know what I'm saying? You're just kind of seeing the evolution of the paranoia. That's really what it was. The difference is he tried to snip it in the butt early before he got into his feelings. So that's what that was. And then even his explanation later was petty, was pathetic, and only proves that he is paranoid and that he is scared and that he believes people are going to betray him. That's all that really is. And the free consoles. Oh, well, and then the Street Fighter thing, we'll talk about that later on. But that's my initial thought on that. And then the thing about the consoles, I already told y'all that that's what that was going to be. You know what I'm saying? I told the few people in his little cult that spoken to me, that's what that was going to be. It couldn't go no other way than that. So it is what it is. And it's not like it's hard to predict any of this. It's not. It's just, it was how it was going to go. What angles did he have? He didn't have any other avenues. You can't run around all year, ladies and gentlemen, and talk about how you're broke, you don't have money, I couldn't buy my wife a gift for her birthday. You can't go off and say all these different scenarios and then come around and have $500 or more to go ahead and buy a new console, even if it is a year away. Or, I don't even know if I'm going to have enough money for my taxes, or so on and so forth. Oh, I might have to get a real job. Think about everything that I'm saying right now and think he could just come around and be like, oh, I had the money. I actually been saving the money up little by little to buy the console. No, someone else was going to have to provide that money. And even if he does come up off of the plug and says that, oh, well, you know, I had a little bit of money and then Kat threw in her money and then this, that, and the third. You know that's not going to sound right. You know that more than likely Planet Jeff ain't sat there and peeled some more money back for Phil or whatever whale that's out there right now. It's just the way it's going to go. It's always going to be this way. He's always going to be dependent on someone else, because why not? He's always been dependent on someone else. If it wasn't for the fans, if it wasn't for the money, if it wasn't for Brightside Viking, if it wasn't for Swaggins, if it wasn't for whoever, he's always dependent on someone. If it wasn't Panda, how many times in Phil's career, if you've been following him that long, that the guy could stand on his own two fucking hoes? Even when he says he did, he didn't. So that's what that comes down to, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for listening in. I know this was long and this was long. That's how I do. But sorry about that. There was a lot to talk about, and it's been a while since I've actually done it in this format, so a lot to get back into. But thank you very much for listening in. I very much appreciate it. I'll see you guys for the next broadcast, which should be out sooner than later. But you know how I do. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll see you guys for the next one whenever that may happen. Ladies and gentlemen, this is DSP News. Always late, never breaking. unreliable coverage that you can't count on at GTG Network and Productions. For the Snort Report, I'm your host, /anchor, GTG, and I'm signing off. It's been fun, guys. I'll see you on the next one. End the broadcast. Oh, boy. Like I said, I still think that the new Street Fighter collection is going to be a good deal. That's my opinion.
Joking about his name is so fly. Mittens, cause he whipping, don't you get it? But that stove's hot, hot. Now let this be a lesson. Professor, he handling the hit in his possession. Ooh, what you cooking, what you cooking? Scouting hot beats, but blow up before it's cooking. Ooh, I know you're looking true. I'm out taking with this beat, I'm a lady man. I'm really trying to date it out. What's the number trying to call out? What about my team? Wood, shout it, don't get logged out. Made by Bethesda, the only way we fall out. Morocco, you a mole. Find another hole to crawl out. Hey, I'm sticking squirrel with the biggest girls. Lace since the case get up. I'm thinking stripping girl. Damn, I sounded cliche, right? Well, I flame out brain. I'm the PK type.